constantly a lonely town. Wants to go, you don't go around. What could
Oh,
you
hey,
do?
Jeff. Good afternoon. How are you? You came out of nowhere. There might have been a curse word in that music. Is that all right, you think?
I didn't hear if you didn't hear it.
Okay, I didn't hear it. We'll hear back from our publicist there, if that's the case. Dude, good morning.
Good morning. How's it going?
Good. Thank you for joining us here.
Yeah, I'm fired up to be here. Thank you for everything. I'm excited to share.
So I'm so excited to have you on. Are you comfortable? Are you feeling good? Everything in the right?
You know what? I feel like I need to change into something more comfortable. Is that cool? I just got to work.
I was actually glad you were going to say that.
Is it a Jeff Gamboa t-shirt?
Yeah, man. I bought it at the store. Be good? No? This is where you were thinking? Okay. Do you wanna change to something a little bit more comfortable?
Please, may I?
Okay, let's get.
Okay.
Ready? Okay. Is that better? It's good?
I feel it. I feel good.
Awesome. Good work. Well, good morning, sir. Good day. Jeff, so nice to have you on, man. Thanks again for your time. And
yeah, we're excited. I'm excited to share, and I'm excited to catch up. You said fun and casual, so you better do it.
Yeah. I want to live up to the expectations. That's my only goal for the next 365 was living up to the expectations of today's call. So
nice.
Mr. Gamboa, can you tell us a little bit about you? Give us your elevator story.
Yeah. I started back in 1997, the golden prehistoric age of Cutco. I was a rising sophomore at the University of Maryland College Park. I'm a personal recruit. And then that summer I sold. I think the rest is history for me. I sold, made a lot of sales, made a lot of money, won a scholarship, and I really loved the experience. But then that just kind of opened the door for me for the rest of whether it was our version of Leadership Academy. And I went on into the management realm. I ran a branch office in 1999. I chose to stay with the company after college, graduating in 2000. And I was a pre-med major at the time. And I decided to, after lots of deliberation and lots of comparing and lots of interviewing, I really found that my place in my heart and also my future was really here. So I chose to be a district manager. I opened up in Baltimore, Maryland, where I'm from, in the year 2000. And soon thereafter got promoted to division manager in 2000, end of 2001 into 2002. And then at that time it was the DC Metro division.
Yep. That
I got a chance to help support. And from there, took that division all the way till about 2009 or so. And then I was asked to take a new assignment, come down to South Florida and take over at that time, the South Florida division, now known as Florida Caribbean. And that's been since 2010. And about 2.5, almost 3 years ago, just prior to 2017, going into it, I was asked to take over a second division, the Florida Gulf. And so we're now more so known as the two together, Florida United. That's our team.
Yeah, when you went out, you kind of experienced that immediate success, but not in a negative way, not in the instant gratification way. Like you said you had a lot of sales. All-American your first summertime you had mentioned, right?
Yeah, I was number one in the country.
So number one, not just All-American, number one out of all the students. I believe that year in 97, 2.2 million sales representatives that were available for scholarship.
Yeah.
Year in history, never even came close again, but you beat out 2.2 million people that summertime.
I guess I did. That's cool.
I'm not lying, but this is what it says in my paper, so I'm telling the truth. It's cool because you experienced the success all around. First summertime All-American number one. It's amazing. And then from what I've heard on the grapevine, is the youngest but also the fastest division manager from beginning of contract into division manager promotion. Youngest and fastest.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I might add best looking.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking, but yeah, they gave me the nod pretty early, pretty fast.
That's great, man. I love the story too, the flow. I always talk about the flow of the way it was, and it's not the one and done. And I mean, pre-med had a lot, like the whole world in front of you, which it still is, but then it's like a conscious decision to move forward with our business. And if that's something that anybody gets from this message, is that you made the conscious decision to move forward, where it's like, I guess I'll do the DM thing. I guess I'll stay here. I guess I'll do that. Or it's like, I don't really have other options. Just to weigh out the options and really think about that, and to make a conscious decision of this is what I'm going to do to move forward. It's great to hear. It's reassuring, and it's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
What is your career sales overall?
You know, it's funny. You told me to prepare that. I don't really know.
The career sales? Make up a number.
I mean,
27 flibbertigibbets.
80 million, 70 bajibbilin.
I believe you.
70 bajibbilin.
I believe you.
Yeah.
What's your favorite food?
Asian fusion.
Sounds good. What movie behind the scenes, when nobody else is around, do you watch, but you don't want anybody else to know that you watch this movie?
Aladdin, not because of the movie, but because I sing with it.
I tell people I watch Aladdin. I went to the opening night of Aladdin.
I mean, original, like Lea Salonga, it was Jasmine and Brad something, like opera. I'm sorry, Broadway.
Yeah, that's totally different. Never mind. I'd keep that secret myself too. Then. And
I have an Aladdin outfit, by the way, but that's just for my wife.
How amazing would it have been if you would have showed up in that. Now, originally you are from. Your origin is from Canada. Is that correct?
Near. I'm Filipino.
Belgium.
My nationality?
Yes.
Oh, I'm from Tunisia.
Tunisia.
No, I'm Filipino.
Filipino. Interesting.
Like Manny Pacquiao.
One of my favorite actors growing up. Do you know who this is?
Ricky Valens. That's La Bamba.
That's La Bamba. Do you know his name in real life? He also played in Young Guns.
Not Emilio Estevez.
No. But do you know where he's originally from?
I didn't think he was Filipino. Is he?
Filipino. Lou Diamond Phillips.
Lou Diamond Phillips. Rob Schneider, Filipino.
Is he really?
Look it up.
So before we get into the nuts and bolts here, I was online. I wanted to see what does Jeff Gamboa have in the world? And obviously you bring a lot to the world, but I typed in Jeff Gamboa and then I typed in Miami just to see what happened there. And to my surprise, this picture did not come up. This picture came up, believe it or not. Jeff Gamboa, Miami. This guy showed up.
Oh, nice.
No idea. That's the best part, though. This also came up. Jeff, is that you?
That might have been the guy that bullied me.
My favorite, though, is, yes, that was the Jeff Gamboa. That will be made into a T-shirt, legitimately. So
that was like the Pitbull Mr. 305 scene when I first moved to Miami. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
All right, having fun. Okay, now we gotta come back on the road here.
Let's go.
So, dude, the way the interviews work, and I'm sure you've seen a few of them. Larry's been on, and Andrew's been on. I want this to be special and unique for you. I mean, just your track record of success. Your name is so respected throughout the company, where we have a ton of fun. We're giggling on the phone, and we have that nice flow of energy. I've known you for many, many years, a mentor personally of mine. So I want it to be an easy flow for you. And the questions that we usually go on the interview are, hey, what do you wish you knew a little bit more of? 20 years ago, what do you wish you knew a little bit more of? And then when you're going through that flow, it's like, hey, here's what's really going good for us. I want to leave it open to you. I want to get a little crazy. Yeah. I want you to talk about what Jeff Gamboa wants to talk about. What would be your ode to the world?
Yeah, I thought about this because I know this video is going to go out to a lot of managers, and John, you've been doing such an awesome job with this project. I want to say thank you for that. But then I also thought, what's going to hopefully make this stand out and maybe disrupt a little bit. And I think there've been some awesome topics, and I haven't had a chance to see all the videos. But if I look back at my younger self and all the things that I wish I knew, I have a strong sentiment towards, what that answer would be. And, I wasn't prepared, but let me pull up this keynote that I fully prepared all the way through.
You prepared, but you have
fully unprepared and fabricated
Do you
just
have
for
a
that.
27-page keynote message?
Yeah, not quite, not quite. I'd say
Let it rip.
for me, if I could talk to my 21, 22-year-old, 23-year-old, like new DM, new DVC self, I would say it's to really know who you are. And it's funny, you made the comment earlier of going through each stage and saying, I'm going to continue to check this out. And I think my career has blossomed and in many cases flourished when I went from, let me check this out, to, wow, I'm all in for this part. And then I got to the next stage. Well, let me check this out, to, I'm all into the next part. And I keep thinking about, what was that switch? What was that click? What was that light bulb that I like to say often on our team, we say light bulb. And, I look back, and if I could just tell myself and look back and say, look, you don't have to go through all that. You don't have to go through the struggles of figuring out, are you all in on this part of, in this case, of the vector opportunity? For me, looking back is when you know, and you really know who you are. I'm going to share a few thoughts here. When you know thyself, it's easy to say yes or no, and there's no hesitation, right? It's hey, I'm I'm lactose intolerant. Ice cream? No.
How do you know that?
Oh, how do I know I'm lactose intolerant?
Wait, I'm also lactose intolerant. I promise, to the fullest.
We'll talk later, my friend.
Okay.
I married a poop doctor, so we're good. So, and you're gonna pull out your lactate, aren't you? You're gonna pull out your lactate.
Are you good? Do you need a little?
my wife, yeah, my wife carries it. I love it. We are lactose brothers. Lactate.
Right. Yes. Okay. So
My point was, if you have dietary restrictions, if you get a terrible reaction to blank, you don't eat it, and you just know. So what I could tell myself and other people that we're working with is, when you know who you are and you know your values and you know how things line up, it's easy to say yes, it's easy to say no, but unabashed, no hesitation. And I think that's the key. And I think it's also the struggle at the same time. When I see people struggling with, do I want to go branch? Do I want to be a district manager? I was supposed to be a doctor or a lawyer, and here I am now deciding if I want to take this next step after college. To me, it all goes back to know thyself. And that was the big, as I said, light bulb for me now, because all my decisions are so much easier. Career decisions, we'll say, about what direction to take our organization, what direction to take our marriage, what direction to take our families. Because at 41, approaching 42, I feel pretty dialed in with this. But this is the part that I wish I could tell everyone. You don't have to wait till, for me, 35, 36, whatever age that light bulb came for me. You can do this now. In fact, I have some exercises I want to share that I think are super tangible. You don't have to journal and tell your whole story diary style, like Dear John style. That's might be dated for some of you. You don't have to get a therapist. You don't have to have a life coach. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars on coaching. I think you can just spend some time with self-reflection, guided with some of these tools, and it really gives you a blank of, this is who I am and what I stand for. Very similar to a great message from Brett Wiggins at SLC, like anchors. And how do you move forward, but with confidence and just no hesitation? So in no particular order, I wanted to share some thoughts on, not the culture of your Cutco office or your division, which I think it certainly will seep to that. I think the culture and core values of you is where it starts. They always say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, or the division or the team or the office takes on the characteristics of the manager. It's no surprise that the reps, when you, John, were a successful district manager, or when I was running an office, not a division, the reps were like us, full of humor, full of joy, full of probably silliness, if you're talking, or full of dairy, maybe, right?
not too much. Yeah.
So, culture and core values, I think, is what I want to take people through very quickly here. And I'll take you from low level beginning to high level. And we do this in our leadership academy. I really encourage, not mandate, but encourage district managers to go through this. My family, my wife goes through this, and I think these can help you dictate a couple of things. So there's two really important tests. I think they're pretty popular amongst vector people, but if not, go to the 5 love languages, and it represents the 5 ways that you choose to show and express love. And it's really telling, right? The five love languages are receiving gifts, words of affirmation, acts of service, physical touch, and quality time. And, that can go such a long way. And have you taken that before, by the way?
Oh, yeah. Back when I was first in a serious relationship, which we're still in now, because of this book.
Right, right. And
Well, one of the reasons because of this book, I should say.
right. And for us, Heidi and I have worked on this many times. There's also a great segue from 5 love languages. They also have the 5 apology languages.
Hmm.
But I just think it's important to know, even in Cutco. So let's say I have John Fiacco. He's a words of affirmation.
100. I'm 99% words of affirmation.
Yeah. And I'm high on that too. Let's say I'm not as a manager, but if I know that, I can really go out of my way to intentionally give John some love and say, hey, John, I just want to tell you, I really sincerely am so happy that you're on the team. I really appreciate the work that you did, rather than a card or live, rather than buying a gift or rather than doing something for him. The 5 love languages, it helps in business, it helps in personal. And I think it's a good self-indicator. And that goes along with the thing next to it, which is CVI, Core Values Index. And you can look this stuff online. I think there's a generation of Cutco managers that are really proficient in this, and this might be new to some people, but CVI more or less is a personality assessment. And, rather than go into it, it more or less is going to show you, how you operate. What is your default language for success, right? The 4 core values are builder, merchant, banker, and innovator. Builders focus on power and getting things done. Merchant is love and feelings and teamwork. Banker is knowledge. Innovator is wisdom. And we're all some type of combination of the two, of the 4. Okay. And what I knew, it's just by knowing these 2 things, I know what types of people I wanted to be around. I knew how I was going to run my business. I also knew my strengths and my weaknesses, because I'm a merchant innovator by default. Right. But I could easily go to builder or banker. But in general, my score says I'm a heavy merchant, and I could become a builder, banker, or innovator at any point in time. So it just really said, all right, Jeff, when I'm dealing with conflict, I want everyone to feel good. But maybe maybe knowing this will help me say, maybe I need to button up and get more organized in my younger years, or maybe I need to just take more action instead of checking up on everyone, see how they're feeling. So I think these 2 things, I make all of our new management candidates take this. Our district managers will take this in cycles just to see where they're at and visit. So that's the first test. I think,
Jeff, real quick on that one. Do you go through those with your candidates? How soon does a person in your organization do the CVI?
Within the first 30 days of Leadership Academy in the fall.
Within Leadership Academy, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And out of curiosity, what do you with love languages?
One of my love languages, words of affirmation at the highest level, and then quality time. My wife is physical touch and quality time.
Identical.
So
amazing.
So we should be together, or wait.
The girls can have a separate room.
Yeah. and then we'll sit Indian style, eat marshmallows, and tell each other how great we are.
Bunk beds for activities, room for activities. Okay, sorry, but no, I love the CVI within 30 days of TLA. That's great. And then the love languages, yeah.
Yeah, and what's so great, and I'll cover in 2 slides, how this can all be, systemized. I think it's great as you get to know your people get to know you.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yep.
Typically, you use what is on you. So if your words of affirmation, you'll tell people you're doing such a great job, amazing, but like maybe they're geared toward a gift.
Right.
But like if you're telling them and just throwing up on them affirmations, it's not really hitting hard because that's how you feel. But if you can learn what others feel and you can utilize that for them, that's just amazing.
Right.
That's a really great point.
And perhaps the other way around is just as important, where people know how to work with you. They know, if I'm a acts of service, let's say district manager, my staff knows that, then my team knows to really support me. They'll do stuff around the office and take care of action steps. But if they don't know that I'm a words of affirmation, they might not know that all you need to get the best out of Jeff Gamboa in this specific conflict is to just root him on.
Thanks, Jeff. Like, you made me better as a human being.
Yeah. Or hey, John Fiacco, I just want you to know, like, I know we're having a hard time with recruiting, but you got this. Like, we're not worried. Like, you got the ball in your court and we're behind you. What can we do to help you? Like, for me as a manager, I'm words of affirmation. When I hear my managers verbally share confidence, I mean, that just, it energizes me and brings out the love language, if you will.
Yeah.
So
Love it. Thanks for sharing that, man. That's great.
You're welcome. The other tool that we use in our specific Leadership Academy is called situational leadership, and it's not Cutco related. In fact, this is I couldn't tell you the originator, but this was presented to us a long time ago at a program we had from the late Marty Dimitrovich called Vector University.
Vector University.
Yeah, you remember that.
Oh yeah, Greg Miner and Marty D.
And Greg Miner showed us this, and more or less, this is just a long story short. a psychological, scientific way to evaluate where someone's commitment is, number one. More importantly, number two, to help people be self-aware of when they're going through low commitment phases, what's happening. And then more important than either one of those, number three, is how to get out of it. So, because so many times people quit on the push week or the career or with Cutco right at that D2 phase. It's circled there, that D2 phase where they're psychologically supposed to get lower with their commitment. And all they need is one or two tools, two or three things, and they're all of a sudden going to be in D3, which is going to be a much higher performing.
I love that. And I've seen this, but dude, this is great.
Yeah. And what's great too about this, we cover this also first 30 days of Leadership Academy. That way, when we get into month 2 and month 3, midterms are hitting. It's getting a lot tougher to coach our students rather than, hey, John, I need to talk to you. I don't know if I can do this anymore. This is what we get. Hey, Jeff, can I talk to you? I'm going through some heavy D2. I know I'm going to get out of it, but I'm having a hard time. I could use some help. So it's more, hey, I'm in this. I'm going to get out of it. I'm in this, but I'm going to get out of this. Not, I don't know what to do and I'm helpless. And I think this has been a big tool for us back in the DC Metro days since 2006 or 7.
That's great.
So, yeah. So that, know thyself, again, under the banner of know thyself. This one I think has been huge for my career in the last 5-6 years. A mentor of mine, he's actually vector trained, John Oberg. He's a personal business and faith mentor of mine. And he gave me this exercise and he just said, Jeff, there's 377 values on this sheet. And he said, I want you to take the time and I want you to try and figure out your top 6, top 5, top 6. And you go through the sheet and you cross out half that wouldn't apply to you. And the whole goal is, how do I pick 6 that will define how I operate, who I am, and my core values? So 377, knock it down to 170. Then 170, knock it down to about 80. 80 to 40, 40 to 20, 20 to 10. And then you ideally get to your top 5/6. And what's so great is it really allows you to operate. Like, I'll share this with people who work with me for the first time. Our management team here in Florida United, they all know my values. And that way it helps people to respect and work better with me, vice versa. And what's great, it's just so consistent, and I think also as a district manager, as a division manager, you're going to look for people like you. Like, people know the people in our organization, like the Andrew Evans of the world, Luke Masteko, Mike Abramowitz, David Vargas in Puerto Rico. And these are some of our big hitters. And not to mention all the guys that are up and coming, but everyone knows each other really well based on values. And there's a lot of respect. There's a lot more clarity in communication. And it allows you to do a couple of cool things. Like, for example, you want to go back?
No, yeah, on that, I don't want to, it was just the one question on that one, but I didn't want to cut you off either.
Yeah. So, you have a question on this?
So for sometimes when I've taken things like that, there's the versions of me, right? Who I've been, who I am, and who I want to be. Now, let's say that there's a trait on here that I may not be exemplifying, but I'm attracted to it. I really want to strive to be that. Would you cross that off of what you're not currently doing, or is it okay to keep what you want to become?
It's funny. As you get older, I think it becomes clearer to answer that question. But I would just say, when you really are honest and true to yourself, like what represents your core values? Like, really, what represents your core values? When you think of vector marketing, what's our core values? It's recruiting. Like, we're a recruiting company. At the end of the day, we're a college student recruiting company. Our product and vector trained. Like, I would say those are the top 3 things that make vector. So yeah, as far as aspire to be, that might be a different exercise. That this is not even on this slideshow, but writing down, for example, your ideal spouse. I did that years ago. What are the traits of my ideal spouse? And some of those things, like, for example, if it said someone who's strong in their faith, if I'm not doing the things that line up with that, I probably need to do that to get her, right? Or I want someone who's physically fit, but if I'm on the couch. So here, I guess you could put, what you strive to be, but I think that's an ongoing process for me, is define who you are. And I think that can change. I think it can change eventually.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, you're welcome. And those first 3 slides kind of go into this, I call it the Gamboa moral sheet. And everyone in my organization will laugh when they see this. Anyone who's in my office or my staff for the first time, or a new district manager, I'll put them through the sheet, and we'll do it whether it's in the group or one by one. And I just kind of pluck and choose things that help to describe how to work best with me. Like, for example, the first one says high emotion, low logic. You might know, and many people in Vector know, that when emotion is high, our logic drops. That's a physiological mishap. And that's something I think Brian Herman talked about at SLC. Well, I put that to the forefront because when people are in an emotional state, I don't want people making decisions. I don't want people telling me they're going to quit or they're not feeling good if they're high. I don't want people telling me they're going to stay with Cutco forever when they're having a good push week. I want people to be even keeled the whole time. That's a big thing in working well with me. Number two, internalization versus memorization, meaning, one of the things we're going to focus on while you work under our staff is internalizing functions, internalizing how to run a great interview, a great training, and be a sales rep, not just memorizing scripts. And how do you do that? You have to know the whys and objectives, and then you have to do lots of repetition, which is in our world, we call that role playing. Third would be stop, start, continue. It's a really easy way to run staff meetings when I'm not around so that people can be honest, but also sensitive. So it's like, hey, John, I want you to start asking for more responsibility. I want you to stop goofing off before all the meetings. And I really want you to continue your hard work with the personal sales. That way it's just an easy transition, which ironically enough lines up with my words of affirmation, because for me, it's important what words you use when you're critiquing. 4, obstacles are, this is a quote from Randy Pausch, last lecture. If you read the book or saw the video, obstacles are not meant to stop you. They're meant to see how badly you want what's on the other side. And that's really just saying, if you're going to work together, I look for problem solvers, not problem reporters, and people who are willing to work through adversity. Vector 19 versus normal 19 is just the pride in, being younger and being separate from your peers, more mature, more financially savvy, more on point, etc. Number 6 is actually going back to Vector University. If I were to update this, number 6 would just be my CVI. Okay. Right? That's like old school. If you remember the old LIFO test that we took in Vector U.
Hunter-gatherer.
That's right. Or non-lactose hunter. The bottom one is the decision train, the feeling train, brought to us by Mr. Trent Booth. But once you make a decision, that makes all the difference. Number 8, I highlight, because if anyone who's worked with me in the last 2 decades knows, TRA, trust, respect, accountability. That's the biggest, most important point of working with me. Trust, respect, accountability. We can mess up anything. You can mess up anything, but we can't mess up on anything that violates trust, respect, or accountability. Once that happens, it's going to be tough to work together. And everyone knows that who's worked with me closely as a PSM, a staff member, or even like a district manager. Number 9 is motion and energy creates emotion. So I want people active. I want, physical movement. I want people to bring energy. Number 10, this was a great quote from a former PSM's late father who happened to be good friends with the family. And he passed years ago, Attorney Toomey back in Baltimore. And he used to teach his son, who'd always tell all of our reps, say what you say, please, say thank you, do what you say you're going to do, and be on time. Pretty cool words to live by. Say please, say thank you, do what you say you're going to do, and be on time, which ironically enough, that really falls into words of affirmation and TRA, trust, respect, accountability.
What was the last one? Be what?
Be on time.
Be on time, yeah.
11, be precise with your words. So that just means, example I use is, have you ever hung up the phone and right before you do, say, hey, let me call you back in 2 minutes, knowing for sure it wasn't going to be 2 minutes? So just be precise with your words as best as you can. We're not perfect. Hey, John, I don't know when I'm going to get off. Can I call you back? It could be 20 minutes. It could be an hour. Are you okay with that? Just, being more upfront with people.
Yeah, man.
12, have fun. That's just, I think the beginning of our video probably just already shows that.
Yeah, but it's fun, but let's get to business too,
Right. And, I'd rather have a business where everyone's enjoying more and we do a little bit less business, but you can get both. Treat people well, self-explanatory. 14, debrief everything. So we talk about what are the light bulbs from this talk? Hey, let's do a light bulb session from the conference.
I love that.
Et cetera. 15 is protecting your energy. So that means from me down is make sure you're healthy, you're eating well, you're getting sleep, and you're staying away from bad circles of influence. And then vice versa, from the staff up to me, it's, hey, protect my energy, be the gatekeeper. Don't let reps who are bringing a lot of problems right to me, see if you can take care of that before it gets to me. Mystique, just that line of professional separation and being aware that even if you're the same age, there's still a level of mystique that can help you can be considerably more powerful in your leadership when you have mystique versus they say you can't be a friend at night and then a boss during the day, right? Creating layers and earning it, that goes under mystique. Yeah, if someone gets into Leadership Academy, I'm not all of a sudden inviting them out to district manager gatherings. I think there's a layer effect of earning your right to be part of different parts of the organization. Number 18, a big part for our team is communication. So text and email and WhatsApp and just the proper channels and how to maneuver. Like for someone to work on our team, they can't say, oh, I don't use WhatsApp, or I don't know how, I'm not really proficient with it. That's our language here in Florida United. So everyone knows that. Number 19, I work really well with people who are growing, not needy. And then number 20, as you know, with the red dots, which I'll talk about, just in the importance of taking care of your circles of influence. So for me, the first three exercises, values, love language, and CVI, can help a manager form this. You can have your own version of the sheet. Sometimes it's some quotes that you live by, like what you appreciate appreciates used to be on this. So just, I think that's a good tab, a couple more slides. But to me, if a manager can get right with this, it's easy. It's easier not just for feeling good and journaling your future if that doesn't sit with you well. I mean, just being able to manage your staff and work together well. This can be very valuable, I think.
So, I mean, yeah, dude. As far as like time frame goes, I want to make sure that we're on for you. We could always do a 2.0 version of this. I want to honor and respect, obviously, the time for your next endeavor.
No, I think we're good. You want to roll?
I love it. I didn't want to have to feel like you.
Let's spin it now. Let's do it.
Okay,
hey,
this is just, it's great, man.
And the only reason I'll keep going is because I found out you're lactose intolerant.
You know, it is the dairy which binds us. Actually, it's the dairy that doesn't bind us. But
oh man. So then you go into something like this. This is my vision board for 2019. So on the left are pictures that represent my values. Like in the middle is faith. The heart is love. That top left is it's a Filipino tradition where when you meet someone older than you, you take their hand and you bless it. It's a sign of respect. So my brother's tattoo sleeve has a picture. Every bird and every flower on there represents someone in the family. So that my value is legacy.
Really?
The dog is a Japanese story of Hachiko. It's a dog that used to meet its owner at the train station exit every day. And then when the owner died, the dog still continued to go to the train station and wait every day until it died. So that's loyalty. So for me, faith, love, respect, legacy, and loyalty are my values. So that I see this, I have this laminated, and I can pull it out every day when I journal. If I'm doing it, I can revisit it when I'm planning. The bottom left, last year we got married, so that the bottom left is the church that we got married at. The bottom was our projected honeymoon, which we didn't go there, but we went somewhere that looked just like that, which is ironic. I put down the BMW because I was going to get the new BMW that year. And I just picked the one I thought looked the coolest. And what's scary is that I ended up not even realizing, I look back, that's the exact car that I got, just the 1 year later model, like to the T, which is really funny. And you'll freak out on this one. I said, where do we want to travel? So we're going to Paris. This was before the Paris announcement. No joke. No Johnny Kane secret info, like under the table.
Yeah, low.
I just said, I really want to take Heidi. She's got a lot of stories to tell me about France. And then they announced it. Vegas, I said, I'm going to do my bachelor party. I want to do a golf blowout, like a golf trip blowout in Vegas. We ended up going to Vegas. And then the top right corner represents circles of influence, our division and faith. So just, I think the other exercises can help put together, whether it's this right here, right? I'm sorry, let me go back. I can't go back. There you go. Yeah. Whether it's this sheet, right? How to work well with you. Whether it's something more personal for you. I've also shared this with my staff. Okay. Another thing that often I'll have our candidates and I do is just check up very almost Trent Booth style. Who are the three most important people that you learn from, most important people that are your peers, and three most important people that you teach and mentor so you're forced to be better. And you can do like a business version, a faith version, a personal version, or you can just have one, like this is the main one.
Yeah.
I think knowing thyself, it's important to have this as an exercise. I think when I say know thyself and I say cut through college, creating 5-star graduates is the theme of our division. Like we work with Cutco through a great Cutco product, and we're the college student recruiting company. But our goal is to create 5-star graduates, people who graduate and apply to med schools, business schools, and law schools, but they're the best in their class. And because of Cutco 4, 5, 6 summers of experience, they're able to get better job offers. And for us, know thyself means when we operate a Cutco organization, if this is, our core value, we really believe in why people should be here longer versus I'm just trying to recruit someone to sell longer. We really believe in why they should do this for 2 or 3 or 4 different summers. We really believe in someone branching twice to get the experience of opening and be it hard, and then doing it again and getting better before you run your medical practice. Like these are things that when you know yourself, it's easy to operate and you can feel better about your work. You know, vector trained, self-explanatory, but when you feel really proud about the skills that we're teaching, it's easier to run that type of a business. And I put this up to the DVMs at SOC, but servant leadership, I would say every call, every conversation we try to have really operates under this. Hey, number one, what do you want? Hey, John, what do you want? Oh, I want to be a doctor. I want to run my own practice. I want to be top of my class. Cool. How can Cutco help you get that right now? Well, I'm fully independent financially, so I need to make money. That branch opportunity, it could give me experience running my own practice. And I want to separate my resume so it looks different than everyone else's. So that's how Cutco helps you. Okay, so where are you at? Oh, I haven't set up any appointments and I haven't followed through on any assignments. All right, well, what do we need to do? That's a much easier conversation than, hey, John, you haven't set up any appointments, get on the phone. And I just think, and the last one, of course, is how do I help or how can we help you?
Yeah.
And in every conversation, whether I'm talking to a district who's having a hard time and isn't setting up their personal recruits, I'm talking to a rep who's having a hard time with the push, I'm talking to a TLA candidate who hasn't turned in an assignment on time the whole time. I can always go back to this conversation because at the end of the day, servant leadership means, and this is my core value, I really want to help people get what they want. I just happen to work with Cutco and that's how I'm helping them right now.
Yeah.
And I believe that. So
I love the how versus can I. Like, hey, can I help you? And it's funny because so many times in the past where somebody asks me, hey, can I help you? I don't know why, but my answer is typically, no, I'm good. I don't need help.
yeah.
What somebody says is, like, how can I assist you? It's not a yes or no. I love that where it's how can I do this? How can we help you get to where you want to versus letting them off the hook by just saying, can I help you? So I love that, the action statement of how. That's great.
So that's again, kind of a tool, I would say. And then people don't quit. Here's what I found is that when you are true with your CVI, when you're true with your 5 love languages, when you're true with your 5 or 6 core values, when you're true with your divisional or office mantra of why you're operating, and when you're true with the 5th one, servant leadership of how you're going to operate your business, you'll only attract those apples that like that tree. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll only attract, and those are the ones that stick and retain the most. So what happens is you get a lot of retention. And if you were to go and see our division, it's funny that people outside looking in, people say, oh, everyone must be like, and they just pick like the Mike Abramowitzes and the Andrew Evans and the Luke. They just pick all the people who are prominent on the sales report. And that couldn't be farther from the truth. We are, this might be dating some of these kids watching the call, we are a motley crew. We are the most diverse. We have all types of nationalities. It is all over the place, different beliefs. But what is common is that everyone knows my core values and they all believe they line up with servant leadership, 5-star graduate, vector trained. Our CVIs aren't the same, but they respect and understand each other's CVIs. Same with the 5 love languages. And they understand my, the essence of my core values. So they know where I'm coming from. And I'm just, people quit, by the way. People quit after the first weekend. People quit after training and never doing a demo. We get that too. But in general, our retention rate is just really high because, again, our core values are straight, are set, and it's consistent across the board. I think that can be a helpful tool for people. And last thing, I think this is more, ironically enough, this is going into the end of the year. I'm encouraging a lot of people to do 2020 planning. And that's actually funny enough, John, that would have been the other topic I would have talked about, planning. But as people are starting to plan for next year, people I hear often, especially in this generation, like, I don't know what I want to do. I haven't found my calling. I want to be passionate. And it sounds great. It sounds good on the Instagram when people say that. It sounds good in theory, but it's impossible to figure out sometimes.
Right.
So this is my quick version, and I take no credit for this. This is from my mentor, John, who has I would say changed the direction of my life by asking me these questions, right? And so someone's calling, aka like, what should you be doing in your life? Usually, in my experience, and through this exercise, comes from the combination and finding something that hits these 4 categories. Number one, like, what are you passionate about? I put down foodie experience. My wife and I are foodies. I'm passionate about my faith. I'm passionate about young people. I'm passionate about fashion. I'm passionate about signature experiences. Okay. Number 2, talents. Like, what am I talented at? I put down public speaking, or at least I think. Like, I like public speaking, talents, team building, right? Motivation, planning. These are things that I feel like I'm talented at or I'm developing. Third is lifestyle. You know, what kind of financial lifestyle do I want to live? What kind of places do we want to travel? What kind of family do we want to have? Like type of income. And I think that's okay too. And then the last one would be, what kind of world impact do you want to have? And it's interestingly enough, when I think about all the things under passionate talents, lifestyle, world impact, not every single one, but a good portion of them, you combine, I get through vector marketing. And that's why I'm still here 23, 24, something like that years later. Because for me, it's not going to be perfect, but it hits that. You know, my wife's a pediatric gastroenterologist, and she'll tell you a lot of what she's passionate about, her talents, the life she wants to live, and the impact she has. A lot of those combined with her current career. And that's why we're both really, our job satisfaction is through the roof. Like, we love what we do. We don't love all parts of it. I certainly don't love every moment of being a division manager, but man, I really enjoy what I'm doing. And even, I would say even for now, because I'm clear on this. And instead of wondering, well, what do I need to do? What kind of money do I need to make? No. List all these things out and start operating your job search, your career search, your calling search through this filter. I think it's just a lot easier. It's easier to say yes or no to, right? So that's all I got. I think in summary, I would say, you know, what are we doing to be self-aware, be at a point where we know who we are so we can operate and move forward with that premise. So that's what I got.
Not prepared. Not prepared at all. I wasn't prepared today.
Not prepared, lactose man. Lactate man.
Dude, it just so if I'm sitting here and I'm in I'm a new DM back in Syracuse and Buffalo, New York, right? I'm 22, 23 at this point in time. I've seen a lot of success from other people. If you were to give, and I know because you've gone through such simplistic things, but if you were to go back to your 22, 23-year-old self, where could people start today? Like, when they get off, what would be at least the direction to say, hey, just go. You don't have to go in this direction, but start here. Just it's an easy link. What would you say?
I got it. Let me, I would say, and pull it up here. I would say easy is go take 5 love languages. Go take.
I said the same thing because the quiz takes you 10 seconds.
Yeah, this takes no more than 5 to 10 minutes if you're overthinking it. This takes you 10 to 15 minutes if you're overthinking it.
And can you do these both? Have you found those both online?
Yeah, you go to 5 love languages test online. Go CVI test online. You find it. And if not, I'll send you the link. And then do this. Okay.
I think, by the way, that when you begin off with that, I'm like, we could end there. I'm glad that you finished through. But so like right now, if I'm 23, I feel really good after this call. But at the same time, I'm like, there's no way I could do that. It's because we're confusing where somebody else is at in their 23-year-old journey, where I've been here for 13 months.
Yeah.
But to begin off with that foundation is the values, the love languages. How do you want to be spoken to? How do you want to be treated?
And John, and it's similar. And many of you who are watching this know with finances, the sooner you start, the better. Time is on your side because you get time accruing interest. You don't have to wait to be as old as me or older, although I think I'm young, right?
Dude, you don't look a day over 18.
Yeah.
Are you able to work here? Did you get parents' permission?
No, Asian skin, honey. It's the Asian skin. But I think if you start some of these exercises earlier, I can just tell you when I was 22, 23 years old, the male mind doesn't even mature till what, 26, 27, 28. So I was still really dumb and young. But if I start asking these questions when I'm young and dumb and 22 and 23, I think it's going to keep you more on track versus waiting till later to have some existential crisis before, I nearly need to find myself. No, you don't. You just need to ask the right questions sooner so you don't have to get to that point is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So.
Dude, I appreciate this. This is so great. Great. I love that you shake it up too, where it's not the traditional planning and it's all great content. Here's what I wish I knew, recruited more, but like you're going into the know thyself and just what a powerful, powerful message, man.
Yeah. Thank you.
Before you go, we do have our lightning round of fun questions.
Oh, Lord. You know what? I actually tried to prepare for this when I saw some of the videos. So
there's no way preparing for it.
But I'm Asian, and Asians prepare.
I know. I don't know that. Is that a real thing? Or is that
nah, totally fabricated.
You got a minute on the clock. I want you to have some fun with this, okay?
Okay.
Okay, minute on the clock. Who's this?
Michael Archangel.
You nailed it. When is your birthday?
Say it again. When is my birthday?
Yep.
February 3rd, 1978.
Great. Who would win in a foot race, you or Trey Ketchum?
I'm going to say Trey Ketchum because I have.
Larry, I think that you're faster, but all right. How many years have you been married for?
Exactly 1 year this past weekend. 2 days.
Interesting. Finish the sentence.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, 1 year.
Yeah,
Good job. What is the capital of the Philippines?
Manila.
Nailed it. The Philippines were named after King Blank II from Spain.
King Philip.
Nailed it. The Philippine has the largest one of these, and it is declared the national bird in 1985. What type of bird is this?
Holy crap! You're no idea. What?
Pat, you can pass.
Pass.
Okay. Where is Mount Rushmore?
South Dakota.
Nailed it. What continent is the Philippines on?
Asia.
Nailed it. The Republic of the Philippines is the world's second largest archipelago. How many islands does it have? A, 1,400, B, 10,700, or C, 7,641?
C, 7,000.
Awesome.
Yep.
When you're calling out the Philippines, like you have to dial 1 for the US and you dial 0 for like the operator. What's the calling code for the Philippines?
Oh! 4-6.
Who's better looking, you or Andrew Evans?
Depends on what age group you
Just go, dude, go with the average. Who's better looking?
Andrew Evans.
No, man, you are.
Andrew Evans.
All right. That's it. You want to know how you did?
How'd I do?
Okay, your birthday you got correct. St. Michael you nailed. All right. How many years you been married for? 1. Happy anniversary. You're on a roll. Manila, correct. King Philip. It's the eagle. The eagle is the largest eagle in the Philippines. And it was named the national bird in 1985. South Dakota, Asia, 7,600 islands. 63 is the calling number for the Philippines.
My mom's going to kill me.
I love you. Thank you so much for being on the call. This is just a fun time, and the content is through the roof. So,
yeah, man, pleasure to help, and anything else I can do. I hope this video helps a lot of people.
It will. Let's end it with some love.
And lactate. Thanks, bro.
Can we do this?